today I wanted to talk about Lily's changes that she got in the recent update for Street Fighter 6. We got a recent balance patch, and there were some interesting changes in there. Capcom said that wasn't going to be a very large patch, and I guess technically it wasn't a really big one, but every character on the roster got some kind of changes. Lily got basically nothing but buffs, but again, they're very, very specific buffs and very situational, which is a real bummer. When I first tried these out, I was a lot more excited for them than I am now. But there's some stuff in there that's just kind of weird. But we can just dive straight into it, I guess. The most significant buff that Lily got during the balance update, the latest one, was she got the ability to basically add some new juggles to her Light Punch DP when she has a Windstock. So going back to how specific this stuff is, this only works on standing opponents, does not work on crouchers, and you have to space yourself out enough for where only the second hit lands against the opponent, and that will... Even explaining it just sounds so ridiculous, but doing so, if you meet those qualifications, you will pop the opponent up higher than you normally would. So opponent gets popped up, juggled higher, and you can get some new follow-ups from it, which is cool in theory. So like, for example, you would get super, level 1 super here now, if I can do that. So you get level 1 super off of that juggle now. You can also get a sweep from this, so crouching heavy kick. And then something that I had found pretty early on was you can also reset with crouching heavy punch, which can lead to some pretty cool stuff. You can, go in for a meaty spire. It works even better if she does not have a Windstock on that spire, so we can try that really quick. You can do like a really meaty one there, and you can like fake it out. You can do a medium version, and it'll hit like just with the end of it, leaving you +2. So there's some cool stuff you can do there, and you can also do that stuff in the corner, which leads to some other interesting things, like you can do a meaty wind strike, and after the reset, and you can time it so that it hits at the very end of it and get better advantage on block for this, and stock back up. If I can do that, it'd be nice. So I'm -7 there. We want to do that a little bit tighter. There it is. So we're -5 and we're pushed back pretty far. So it might be tough for some characters to punish that. And also the medium and heavy punch version of her Windclad DPs also got similar buffs to their juggle ability. So the knockback is higher for these, but not quite as much as the Light Punch version. So after Light Punch, you will get you can get all the things that I showed before. But if you do the medium or the heavy, you can usually just get like another DP after, which is cool. I mean, it's something, I guess. But after doing a lot of testing and kind of trying to see what's going on, a lot of this stuff is like the main things that you get from this new buff. You can usually do better things that do more damage by not doing that, which is kind of a bummer, where it's like, you want to use these new buffs and do all these new things, and the new stuff, the new options that you do get like aren't the best. Again, she already has better stuff that does more damage. It feels like this is more like a kind of for a mix-up pressure type of deal, because I don't know why you'd want to do something like that when you can probably do this. So 1790 damage there, and 1745 damage there. Both 2 stocks, both meterless, both beginning with lights. Not really sure why you'd want to do DP into DP, and then obviously the DP one only works if the opponent is standing. The other combo that I showed would work on a croucher as well, I believe. Yep, and so it's like, well, I'm not sure why you'd want to do that. So if I did something like this, and then reset him, I could do a very meaty Windclad OD Condor Spire, and that'll give me a Juggle, which with Lily, again, all of her stuff being so hyper-specific, if you hit with the tail end of that OD Spire, that's Windclad, that single hit there, it leaves the opponent in a juggle state that allows you to follow up afterward, which is something you can't normally do. So you couldn't like drive rush in after like a raw one or like a hitting all 3 hits of it. It just doesn't work like that. But if you hit the tail end of it, you can do that usually. It has to be the last hit, I believe. And it probably has to be medium kick. Let me try that again. I might not even be close enough for that, but I could do that here in the corner for sure. That will work in the corner. Yeah, see, so you could do that, but you couldn't do something like this. So that's the same concept here, is you want to do the reset with your Crouching Heavy Punch, and then cancel into Windclad OD Spire, and then you can continue like that, which, again, looks cool. It's flashy-ish, especially for Lily. Good luck hitting somebody with that. It's cool for a pressure tool, but it's, you know, I don't know. It's something, again, but it's just so specific, and so, like, okay. So those are the main changes that she got to her DPs, which they add some new things that you can do, but again, I don't know. There's better options, unfortunately. I haven't seen anything else too good that came from this change yet. Even doing stuff like trying to set it up through like a drive rush combo or something doesn't really amount to much. There's just better options out of drive rush. Like, you can get the reset there if you want to, if you just want to mix, you know. If you want to forgo some damage and go for like a reset into a mix-up or something and get some pressure, then, you know, more power to you. But even that's hard to set up. Like, you know, so it's just a shame. I was much more excited for this, like, when I first tried it out, and then, like, the more I tested it, the more I just realized, man, this is so limiting. And she just has better options. She just flat out has better options that do more damage and stuff, so, you know, it is what it is. And then she also got a buff to her forward, or several buffs to her forward heavy punch, actually. This button has been notorious, and this target combo has been notorious for being basically useless in this, not just in Lily's toolkit, but just in general, one of the more useless moves in the entire game. There's just, it's got 18 frames of startup. It takes forever. You can't super or special or drive rush cancel out of the second and third hits at all. It's mostly been used for basically doing like something like that. You know, it's meant to do like, it's meant to be like a closing like this. You step forward a little bit to ensure that you get your wind strike out. So if I were to punish counter like this, usually I do that, but if you're further out, that's not going to work as well, and like forward heavy punch usually can do that. That's the main thing that it's been used for, but it got some new abilities in that it apparently has better juggle abilities now, so you can combo your opponent in the air with it better, which is like, you know, okay, sure. Generally speaking, if you get that crumple, you want to do something more like that, because it does more damage. You know, like 3,010 damage there versus, you know, doing the same thing but forward heavy punch, and you're going to get 2930. Again, same idea. You get more damage for your other options. I did see some kind of cool stuff with the side switch abilities from this, but like, it's just so expensive to do that. This is already 4 bars. You know, like, Lily's side switch abilities aren't good to start, and they're always expensive. I I guess. Like, maybe you can do some cool, like, not even cool stuff, but you can do something with it, you know? But, I don't know. It's just doesn't seem significant enough to me. But maybe I'm crazy. But that seems to be the consensus among Lily players. I consistently chat to a handful of Lily players who do a lot of lab work as well. They do a lot of lab work like I do, and, you know, they haven't found too much else that's really good with these changes. They just haven't. Again, the consensus is pretty much, it's, you know, very, very specific changes for very specific scenarios, and that's just not what you really want. Especially not for Lily, who is already such a binary, very linear character where she just wants to do, you know, light or medium Condor Spire, Windkite Condor Spire into the business. You know, you do that, and then you do that. You mix in a command throw here and there. That's kind of her main bread and butter. That's what she does her best. That's what she does best. And crouching heavy punch is something you see a lot. It's just a great poke. Hit confirmable. Has 2 hits, so it can. It's really good for DI bait as well, because you can do that. It's unfortunate that Lily didn't get too much that's really interesting or useful in any real way. But that's just kind of how it goes, I guess. For whatever reason, Capcom is very afraid to buff Lily. And in this latest update, they also nerfed Lily, nerfed Zangief as well, by removing the ability to jump cancel SPDs. Because that was a consistent way that these two grapplers in particular would beat throw loops, especially because they don't have invincible reversals outside of super. So getting throw looped, you just kind of have to hold that pressure. Lily can OD uppercut against regular throws, and I believe against all throws, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's throw invincible, but that's such a big commitment there to, you know, I mean, you can try to go for the read, it would technically work, but that jump cancel SPD was just really good in terms of like being able to, you know, counter these throws. And it wasn't the easiest thing to do either, which is crazy to me. Like, jump cancel SPD, doing that consistently on Wake Up is not easy. It's more of a high to pro level technique, and yet Capcom was like, well, we are going to leave throw loops in, and we're going to get rid of the grappler's ability to counter throw loops. I don't understand it. You know, it is what it is. The other buff that Lily got is her Crouching Light Punch is now +6 on hit. Before it was +5. This just means that you get, you know, some different conversions and some certain things combo where they didn't before. Probably the biggest thing is that you can do some of the stuff that you can do off of Standing Light Punch, you can do off of Crouching Light Punch now as well. So if you did Drive Rush Standing Light Punch, you can combo into Crouching Heavy Punch, like that. You can now do that from crouching, which, again, sure, but okay. You know, like, it is what it is. On counter hit, you're now +8, which opens up the door for this. If I can do it. Which, again, is, you know, Crouching Medium Punch is not any kind of cancelable other than super. And when you can already do this on counter hit with Standing Medium Kick, like, you know, like, I don't know, you just confirm into super with this, I guess. Like, sure. Again, just very specific stuff. It's very, very circumstantial, and you just have to be super aware for it, which is hilarious to me because people say that Lily is such an easy character to play by design, which I don't necessarily disagree with in terms of her design. I think she's meant to be very much this kind of character where she just does the same things and kind of puts you in the mix and then, you know, scoops you and does. I think that's what she's supposed to be. but she also has so many layers of like things that don't work at certain ranges and certain, you know, just so hyper specific with stuff. Like there's even combos that if you're fully in the corner don't work, and you have to be like just a bit outside of the corner, and it's just so many different things like that. But overall, her changes are just, you know, they're very much the same, in the same vein as the ones that we saw last time. Very hyper specific stuff. Very, you'll probably see it used here and there, but unless we get some, you know, big Lily players that find some really cool stuff with it, like this, it just seems like it's going to be another one of those situations for her. Again, I was very excited for them at first when I first tried them out. I thought they might be pretty good, but upon further testing, it's just like, well, business as usual. So that's okay. You know, I think, you know, Lily's going to be Lily, so hopefully at some point we get some significant buffs and she actually gets some cool stuff. But yeah, so that's pretty much the Lily stuff here. That's kind of my takeaways from her changes. Kind of, you know, interesting ideas, too specific to use all the time, and we'll probably see it here and there, but it's not going to be a big needle mover in any way, I don't think. She still has the same struggles. She still has, you know, a lot of the same issues that she's always had. And other characters just do a lot of stuff in this game better and easier. So, you know, it is what it is. But we still love Lily. She's still our girl, but, you know, we'll see what happens.